His voice cracked with panic. I fumbled with my keys, my fingers trembling as I tried to find the right one. My mind raced, but all I could think was, we can't outrun him. The air felt thick, suffocating, and the streets around us seemed to stretch farther than they had before. My breath came in shallow gasps. Elle nudged me. Turn around. I looked up, and my stomach dropped. The clown was no longer hidden in the bushes. He was walking toward us. The streetlights blinked out one last time, plunging us into darkness. All that was left was the sound of his shoes scraping against the pavement, slow and deliberate. I finally shoved the door open, and we rushed inside, slamming it behind us. I could still hear his footsteps outside, getting closer. I immediately called my parents, but all I heard was the sound of my own breathing, rapid and harsh. They told me to stay upstairs, arm myself, and lock the doors. I didn't have a gun, but I grabbed the only thing I could find, an old baseball bat. We ran upstairs and barricaded ourselves in my little brother's room, looking out the window. There he was. The clown stood in the middle of the driveway, facing the house. He didn't move, but his head slowly turned upward, toward our window. It felt as though he could see right through the glass, his cold, empty eyes staring directly into mine. He smiled wider, if that was even possible. My heart hammered in my chest, and I slammed the blinds shut, falling back onto the floor. We crouched together, barely able to breathe. Minutes passed, but it felt like hours. Then, without warning, he was gone. The sound of his steps faded into the night. I don't know if he left for good, or if he was just waiting. The night passed in a blur of nervous glances and sweaty palms. The next morning, I went downstairs and checked the front door. Everything looked normal. But when I opened the door to step outside, I froze. There, on the doorstep, was a single red balloon. No string, no note, just a balloon. It swayed slightly in the wind, its color so bright it hurt to look at. I stepped back inside, heart pounding. I never saw the clown again, but I felt him, always, watching, waiting. And I learned that sometimes the real terror doesn't show up until you start to forget it. The clown's face is burned into my memory. Every night it grins at me from the edge of the dark. I know it's not over, not by a long shot.